see the word. I saw this plane. This plane can move about into space so wisely until their way of trying to shoot them out of the sky. You never take this one, there's a scientist, more than a scientist. I think the first time on this plane. It's a half a mile by half a mile. And this plane, you may see, look like that's it. But it can cut out of your eyes sight so fast until you didn't look like nothing. You will see this plane one day. Because this plane has a civilization of it. They stood up for a year, and sometime a year and a half, in that plane. It's a wonderful thing. Dreadful thing. I'm not trying to deceive you. I'm trying to show you what you're going to see pretty soon. I stopped flying this plane for years, but now I think I should go back to it. Because they seem to be up there, fixing it up to come near to Earth. When America thinks that she's going after this plane, she saw it. They will scientists own that plane. Go to rest and change America so that she can't come forward to the plane. She can't see it. Write in your paper if you want to tell what I'm telling you. See if you'll try and deny it. They know something. I sit down and I talk with them years ago back. They asked me first, they have to join, they have a whole right food that they've taken from us and they arrested us. And I had done the plane and loaded it, and they've taken it to the FBI's office, and there they have it there today. Because they know this to be true, and they admitted to me that is true. I said to you, brothers, and the day when that thing is seen in the sky for miracles, make haste, and run to some folks.
50-year-old pilot Steve Allen was at a campfire with friends and says the object was a mile long and half a mile wide.
I don't know if it was a biblical experience or somebody from a different universe or planet or whatever. It was definitely not from around these parts.
Allen drew a sketch of the object, which he said traveled at amazing speed without making a sound.
Steve Allen has been a private pilot for 30 years. He says the object he saw streaking across the sky was going several thousand miles an hour.
Do you think this could be a government aircraft sometime?
They wish they had an aircraft like that. They wish they had something like that. It's for one thing, its speed. It travels in hoovering and its cloaking abilities. It's not from around these parts.
I'd say it was a half a mile wide and about a mile long.
On Monday afternoon, Captain Ray Bowyer was piloting a routine passenger flight from Southampton to Alderney. But to his and the passengers' surprise, a strange object became visible on the horizon. You've been a professional pilot for 20 years. You've flown thousands of flights. You're putting your reputation on the line here, so you must truly believe what you saw was very real.
In my years of experience, I've never seen anything like this. And frankly, I'll be perfectly happy not to ever again. It's a pretty chilling thing. And from my first sighting of it, which was initially maybe around 50 miles away, perhaps 40 miles away from the actual object, it appeared to be fairly small, but it must have been pretty huge. It must have been very, very much larger than I thought it was originally. I told air traffic control that they asked me for a size approximately. I said about the size of a 737, perhaps twice the size. But on reflection, seeing this object from about 40 miles away, it must have been very, very much bigger than that. Perhaps, maybe a mile across, perhaps.
Were you scared?
I wasn't too happy, put it that way. I was quite glad to get on the ground.
Yes.
What do you think they saw?
I'd like to ask a question. Is there any chance, and I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, that it could have been a comet? I just want to. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just asking. What's your response to that? If I play devil's advocate for a minute.
Steve, do you think it was a comet?
No, by no stretch of the imagination. It was very close to us. Within, like I said, it was closer than a mile away. We watched it intensely for over 2 or 3 minutes, and then when it came back by with the jets chasing it, not much of a chance of that.
Stanton, what do you think?
Well, it certainly couldn't have been a comet. Comets don't move rapidly in the sky. They're a long distance away. They move.
So what do you think?
It reminds me of a case up in the Yukon in 1996, where a total of 31 witnesses were interviewed by a civil engineer. They were in groups of 2 and 3 driving on the Klondike Highway in the middle of winter. And they all described this huge thing in the sky that was silent, that had very bright lights on it, that hung around for quite a while. There was only one place to stop. A lot of them had stopped for gas and food, and so the investigator, Martin Jasicus, registered civil engineer, was able to triangulate. And this thing was between half a mile and a mile big. So that rules out any conventional aircraft. The silence rules out, as you know, any airplanes, anything like that.
So what's your conclusion?
Probably, I'll call it a mothership.
A mothership?
Well, space carrier, does that sound better? You know, we have aircraft carriers which are huge and little small airplanes on it. We have a number of reports of huge craft, big monsters, half a mile to a mile, that move silently and slowly and then fast.
All right, what do you make of the military chasing it?
Well, that's standard practice.
This particular drawings here that my son-in-law just did for you is found in the 1st and 10th chapter of Ezekiel. He said he saw in a vision a wheel in a wheel. It didn't come down to the earth. He said he saw it rose up from the earth. I want you to listen at me good, as I thought that it would have been best that I talk about this wheel. No, you keep that. I don't want the stick. I want the wheel. My son-in-law saw Miss Wheel in Washington years ago, so he can draw it now better than I can. He don't add anything to it, but more perfection. He can draw better than I can. So Ezekiel, I'm about to lose my shuffle here. So Ezekiel says that he saw in a vision a wheel in a wheel. Now you see only the outer of the great wheel that he said he saw. But he said he saw wheel in a wheel. Where is the other wheels, Ezekiel? Now, if Ezekiel saw any vision, prophets don't see visions of liars. Whenever they have a vision, it's the truth. He said a wheel in a wheel, and that this wheel rose up from the earth. He didn't say nothing about where it was made at on the earth, but he said a wheel rose up from the earth, and that